On this day in Tudor history, the 24th of November 1542, England and Scotland collided in a muddy, chaotic and fateful clash known as the Battle of Solway Moss, a battle that changed the futures of both kingdoms and helped usher in the age of Mary, Queen of Scots. I'm historian and author Claire Ridgway, and today I'm taking you to the Anglo-Scottish border in the final years of Henry VIII's reign, when a long simmering feud between uncle and nephew reached breaking point. England was ruled by Henry VIII, powerful, proud and increasingly unpredictable. Scotland was ruled by his young nephew, James V, the son of Henry's sister Margaret Tudor. Relations between the two kings had never been warm, but everything collapsed in 1541 when Henry travelled north on progress and arranged to meet James at York. Henry expected loyalty, respect, maybe even admiration. But instead, James simply didn't turn up. It was a humiliating snub, and Henry VIII was not a man who took insults calmly. He sent English troops to raid Scottish towns along the border, burning and destroying. James V responded in kind, and what began as a feud of pride soon escalated into open hostility. By November 1542, both kingdoms were preparing for war. James ordered a huge Scottish army, somewhere between 15,000 and 18,000 men, to march south into England. Henry VIII's forces in the region were far smaller, only around 3,000 men. But, as we'll see, sheer numbers don't win a battle. The Scots advanced towards Solway Moss, a treacherous peat bog in Cumberland. The English commander was Sir Thomas Wharton, Warden of the West Marches, experienced, organised and familiar with the terrain. The Scottish army, on the other hand, was meant to be led by Robert Lord Maxwell, another respected border lord. But at the crucial moment, James V's favourite courtier, Oliver Sinclair, suddenly declared that he was a commander acting on the king's authority. It was a disastrous decision. The Scottish nobles refused to follow Sinclair. Arguments broke out, officers disagreed over what to do, and orders became confused or simply ignored. What had been a confident army of thousands suddenly found itself in total disarray. While the Scots argued, the English moved. Wharton's men pressed forward, driving the Scots back towards the River Esk. Trapped between the fast-flowing river and the deadly bog, men and horses began to sink into the mud. Panic spread, units broke apart, some tried to flee and drowned in the marsh. Others threw down their weapons and surrendered. It was less a battle than a collapse. Around 1,200 Scots were taken prisoner, and these weren't ordinary soldiers, high-ranking nobles, the political heart of Scotland's ruling class. The English, astonishingly, suffered almost no casualties. King James V wasn't present at Solway Moss, but when news of the disaster reached him, witnesses recorded that he was devastated. Already exhausted, depressed and weakened, James's health spiralled rapidly. And then, just 6 days after his wife Marie de Guise had given birth to a daughter, he died at Falkland Palace on the 14th of December 1542. He was only 30 years old. His newborn daughter became Mary, Queen of Scots, a tiny baby suddenly inheriting a kingdom in turmoil. The consequences of Solway Moss were enormous. Scotland was plunged into a fragile regency government with rival families vying for control of the infant queen. Henry VIII, seeing an opportunity, began plotting to force a marriage between Mary and his young son Prince Edward, a scheme that would soon erupt into the violent period known as the Rough Wooing. For England, the victory was a moment of triumph, but also a turning point. Henry treated the captured Scottish nobles with surprising softness, hoping to win them over and influence Scotland from within. But the political instability north of the border only fed his ambitions and his sense that England could reshape Scotland's future. So on this day in 1542, a battle fought in the mist and mud of a borderland bog set off a chain of events that would shape British history for decades. The death of a king, the rise of a queen, and the beginning of yet another turbulent chapter in the long, complicated relationship between England and Scotland. If you enjoyed today's look at the Battle of Solway Moss, please do like this video, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss my Tudor history videos. And let me know in the comments, do you think James V would have survived if Solway Moss had gone differently? Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.